man.
We're on.
Like a little kid.
Why are you playing that?
Everybody's playing this.
Yeah, I figured
wanna
that
be
out.
like everybody
Why? That's what I want to know is why.
Can they hear this, Phil?
It's the infatuation with Gloria.
You want to hear something really funny? Somebody in this room asked me what the name of that song was.
I can guess who that is. That was definitely Sam. Sam had no clue what the song was. I know the song, but why do I care about that song?
Go
Okay, in my defense, I had not heard like the actual words yet. I only heard the intro.
We'll do the show when they're done talking.
Yeah. Isn't it normally Phil that yells at that? Like about
so,
that?
Didn't Ron?
So Gloria's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean you get to participate.
That's why Ron.
I'm gonna pay for that.
And on that
Pay
note,
for that
here I
for a
am
month.
doing HK slap
HK
things.
slap. So the Gloria song is, I, from what I understand, some of the hockey players, Phil, were watching a NFL playoff game with the Eagles, and they played that, and the crowd was dancing around. They're like, so they played it before a game or something, and they went out and had a shutout, and so the players just decided that was their victory song. So, ta-da! It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I was
working.
kidding. I didn't honestly know that story. I was just giving a hard time about the Blues.
Yeah, you
Go
are
Blues.
I
You're
You're saying that on camera. That's
I
not
lost
what
excitement on hockey back in the strike days, and I literally it's like football. I just kind of don't really pay attention to it much anymore.
So tonight
Go
we'll
Blues.
see who they're playing in the conference finals. So, man, last night's game was killing me though.
Yeah. I don't know. I was at softball games.
Softball, yeah.
Yeah, all night.
Probably had more fun watching your kid play.
Oh, I did have a blast.
What do you got?
I had the new PTR that we just got in.
That's a PTR.
Yes.
Clear.
Yes, MP5 clone. And it does the HK slap things, even though technically it's not an HK, but it is built on HK stuff with all their plans and all that good stuff.
Bad in a good
We
way.
are going to be getting the pick rail adapter for the back.
Put a brace
and that way
on
we
it.
can put a brace on there.
It's ready for
until
a
somebody decides that they want to SBR it instead, and then you can put an actual stock on the back, or just leave it as a pistol with a brace and travel state to state without all the restrictions. But yes, it definitely needs it's got the tri-lug adapter on there, so it either needs a tri-lug or any other kind of a make quieter on the end of that thing.
Can, brace or stock.
A can, a brace, and
nice
an optic.
Push sling. Well, if you got a stock, you don't need a push sling. So
no, but this kit does actually come with
the push
two mags, the push sling, and everything for under $1,400. So
can't talk about that.
Yeah, we can.
That's a bad little package there.
Yeah, sweet. M-lock rail, so it's already got the upgraded rail on there. So it is.
Makes you feel like John McClane.
Yeah.
Now I have a machine gun.
And now he has the machine gun. I mean, it is one of the greatest Christmas movies ever. And
which Sam, again, has not watched.
Oh, I know. We talk about that. She
is just steaming over there. Look at her. She's almost as red.
But you know what? Yesterday they went to Oberweis again, got the coffee shakes again. This time they included Phil. And nada.
But you know what Phil thought?
You know, 5 times they've gone. 1 time they were nice enough to ask me, "Do you want?" Yeah.
1 time Phil got one.
Yeah, 1 time Phil got one. So
Better even now.
Phil and I will have to start getting them, and we'll just eat them in front of everybody.
Gets barbecue when I go?
Yeah, but I'm not the only one that gets the barbecue, because I go around and ask people about the barbecue like you should do with the Oberweis. It just is what it is. So yes, Sam was very mean yesterday, and Vinny. And then, on top of that, they leave it just sitting on my desk after it had melted. So somebody didn't even finish their drink and then left it to tease me even more. Salt. Is that salt in my wound? I thought so. I knew we were together like that. Let's talk about other fun stuff going on right now. Tonight, today,
yeah, girls.
Wednesday, ladies shoot free all day, every Wednesday. Come in, get your free lane. If you bring a guy, he's $5. He still has to pay.
I like it.
2 ladies come in.
I like it.
Totally cool.
Oh, I almost
Dude.
said something would have got
So,
me in serious
bring your
trouble right
lady.
there.
That way you can get her a lane. You get to go onto her lane.
Yeah.
Only pay $5.
Yep. Our ode to the moms.
To the moms.
Soon to be moms.
Soon to be moms.
Wanna be
Could be
moms.
moms.
Could be moms.
Don't want to be a mom, but
Don't
technically could be if they want to.
So should I do the identifying as?
Hey,
thing
as
here?
long as you're dressed appropriately, I'm
take
good
it.
with free lane. So I don't care. Like if you want to rock the old like 90s Bud Light, come in your dress for ladies' night. Totally cool. Do it. Free lane.
Cool. Good for that. Every Wednesday this month.
Take pictures, post them, tag us.
Sweet.
That'd
What
be
else?
awesome.
What else?
We have 2 gun match. Second one is going to be tomorrow. It's already filled up. And for those that are wanting to try and get in, I know you're waitlisted. I am trying to beg and plead with Dustin to open it up to more shooters because it literally filled up in like 20 minutes. So we have quite a few on the wait list. So I'm going to try and get it expanded. I don't know yet. And I'm also trying to bug around that maybe we need to open up a second bay for some of these matches. So make sure when you sign up early to try and get in there. If you're waitlisted, sign up on the wait list anyway. Prove to Ron that we actually have enough shooters to fill 2 bays so that we can talk him into letting
This
us
is
shut
tomorrow?
down 2 bays for future matches. Not tomorrow.
Going forward?
I'm going to try and see how many we can push in there, but
Cool.
we're kind of stuck with having a maximum of shooters in 1 bay.
Space is space,
So,
right? You can't.
We're getting to a point though where we've got quite a few people on the wait list every
Hey.
week, and Dustin and I both feel really bad about it, but it just comes into we only have 3 hours that we can get the match in before it starts really running into people getting cranky because it's too late.
Yeah.
So-
And obviously, safety is going to be our number one concern every time. You know,
Yeah.
you get too many bodies in there, it's just not a safe environment.
Exactly. So,
So,
we're
if
working
we're
on trying
growing,
to
we'll
push
figure
from-
something out.
So keep signing up though, and keep jumping in. Those that are waitlisted, we'll have some updates going throughout the day tomorrow. Because generally speaking, it's much easier to sign up and then drop if you can't make it than it is to not sign up until you can figure out if you can make it. Just if you ain't going to show up, drop so that one of these other guys can shoot.
Yep.
So, that being said, IDPA the following weekend, I think there might be a couple of spots opened up. Some
this the
unfortunate events
the
on that
national
one.
match?
Yeah, the national match. What was
And how
supposed
many,
to be a
how
national
many
match.
indoor stores are having a national match this year?
Now it's 0. So they bumped us from tier 2 match down to a tier 1 match.
What?
Yeah, so there's a little bit, and Dustin's taking partial blame on it. The one problem that he did have, that we can't really get around it, is we didn't inform the area coordinator early enough to be able to get everything lined out early enough. However, there's a bunch of extra things that they've thrown at us now that are not really so great. So IDPA has a thing where you have to hit a minimum of 50 or 75 shooters. It has to be open to a minimum of 75 shooters, for it to qualify as a tier 2 match. There's never been anything before that said that you had to have 75 shooters actually shoot the match. And so it sounds like that. So there's some issues. Dustin's working on it, but
Glad I brought
unfortunately
that up.
we're tier 1 this year. Come out, shoot. We still got like over $4,000 for stuff on the prize table, so it is
That
going to be
is
one heck of a
amazing.
monthly match.
Yep.
Come out, shoot. It's going to be an absolute blast. We got all the other stuff, and
So we've still got sponsors. We still
got
all kinds of cool
sponsors.
stuff
Everything.
going on.
Yeah, none of the sponsors are backed
Okay.
out. So thank you to all our sponsors. None of them are backed out. We have had a couple of shooters bounce, but it's understandable when,
Yep.
But anyway. So we got that coming up. So as a heads up, if you're not shooting the match next Friday and Saturday, we're going to be limited on some of the bays. So
We'll have one
Friday
bay.
we'll have 2 bays for part of the day. Might end up dropping down to 1
Yep.
towards the end of the day. Saturday until about 4 or 5 o'clock, we will be down to 1 active bay. So come out and check it out. We'll still have one bay open, so there is still going to be some
You're
lanes.
bringing up a great point.
Come in and check out the competition. You're going to see some really awesome stages that Dustin's designed. I'm not taking no credit for it. He's had some help, but these is Dustin's stages. They're pretty awesome
He's been
stages.
working
I'm
his
excited.
tail off on that.
Yeah, we've been working our butts off. Him, Kentrell, Cam, me,
Cool.
putting in a bunch of work on it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Come out and watch if you're not even shooting it. Come out and check it
Yep,
out. We'll have all kinds of
absolutely.
fun
Come out
stuff.
and watch.
Emo's
You'll
supporting
enjoy it.
us with some T-Rabs, some pizza, and some beers from 4204 Main Street. So
That's for after the match.
that's for after the match. Yeah.
Again, we're not in Tennessee, so it's
Yes.
not drink and shoot.
I didn't even know
It's
if Tennessee allows the drink and shoot.
Hey, when
But,
I grew up,
Yeah. So when you were growing up, though,
It was
Noah
almost
was
a
still putting his
prerequisite.
Noah was putting his arc together. So it's okay. But anyway, let's move on to more.
what else? What
So-
else? So
We got classes. We got CCW, hand-to-hand, anti-carjacking all this weekend. Anti-carjacking.
Busy
It's one
weekend.
that, boy, I tell you what, it's happening more and more around here. So
Crazy.
get in and sign up for that class. It is an awesome class. Learn a ton of information. Lots of little tips on what to do when,
and lots of cross training there. It doesn't just
Yeah, it's
apply
not- it's
to
not just guns.
anti-carjacking. It's
Yeah.
really good situational awareness pointers. It's some basic things to look for, tools that you can use, voice command, movement, some basic hand-to-hand techniques, all kinds of really cool stuff, which will work in a lot of situations for you. So
yeah.
we call it anti-carjacking because that's, a lot of people were asking us, do you guys offer anything?
Yeah.
To-
And it's a thing that's been happening more and more lately, unfortunately.
nationwide.
So.
All right, so
let's get into some of the chaos that's been going on.
Well,
right now.
just keep an eye on the training page. Phil
Yep.
is always adding stuff. We've implemented a new class, our intermediate pistol class,
Yeah.
for those that have finished basic but aren't quite ready for the defensive series of classes. It's fantastic. We've already taught a couple of those. Our students just had a ball in it, learned a bunch.
Yeah, it goes into a lot more of the usage of the pistol
Yep.
and how to properly use it without throwing in a lot of the situational tactics
Yep.
and so forth.
Just
So
building muscle memory, but
pretty good.
keep an eye
building block.
on the training page for some great training. We're going to talk about, I'm going to rant a little bit about training in our show today, but
Yep.
train. Yes, sir.
Or if you're not getting the training email, send Sam your email so I can add you to the list.
Yeah. Get
Yeah.
on the email list.
So we do send out emails on our training schedule each month. We have had a number of members that have complained about not getting the email. So there's two different things you can do to solve that. A, if at some point in the past you may have accidentally clicked on the unsubscribe me, we can't send it to you until you actually acknowledge, yes, I want these guys to send me an email. So check into that. We can give you some information. Shoot an email to Sam, S. Davis, right? S. Davis at the Range STL
.com.
on
Yep.
that one, and make sure that she can get you all squared away with being able to receive those. The other side of it is if we don't have your email address. So we do need them things so we can send it out for you. And then also when you do actually sign up for any of our classes, Phil needs that information because that's how he sends you all this is what you need
Yep.
for this class coming up. Not to mention if there's extra stuff. So could be free food, could be free ammo. You never know. Get on there and that way you can find
Could be a
out.
hug from Phil.
Could be a hug from Phil, highly doubtful, but you might get a hug from Sam. That's probably a lot easier. Less
I like
fun.
hugs. I don't mind hugs.
Hey, Phil just said he doesn't mind hugs.
Hugs
He
and high
likes
fives.
them.
Either way, I'm good.
There we go. So you never know. Could get hugs or high fives from Phil. So let's talk about some of the chaos that's happened recently. So we got that 8th grader football phenom over in Illinois. Very, very unfortunate. I mean, this kid was. It looked like he was set up to really go pretty far
do something.
in
Special kid.
the world. So, football phenom already in 8th grade. Clearly, it's not official because, of course, schools wouldn't talk to you before you're of legal age to be talked to. However, He was already kind of getting a bunch of colleges that were looking at
I think he
kind
had
of
an
bringing him
SI
along.
mention too. Sports Illustrated
Yeah,
talked about
Sports
him a little bit.
Illustrated had just done something recently. They're not necessarily sure what has happened at this point. They're still, and this is what, 2 weeks ago. There's still not really a whole lot of information. Just that this Jalen McKenzie and then another 15-year-old female had both got shot at a party. It was a big party, somewhere around 11:40 or so, and they're still not really sure what's going on. There were 16 people shot over the weekend.
That's just crazy.
In 10 separate incidences. So
Crazy,
St.
crazy,
Louis
crazy.
is just it's gotten to be a really chaotic place where there's unfortunately too many of these types of stories that, you know, here's a kid, he's like 8th grade, so that's.
Yeah,
My daughter's
these-
8th grade. She's 14 years old.
These communities have to just, they really need to step up. They need to get organized.
Yeah.
They need to take a stand. They need to get, you know, they know who these bad guys are that are
Oh,
out there.
yeah.
And they need to work with law enforcement and get rid of them.
Yeah, and we
they
got to
need-
break out of this snitches get stitches mentality. If you see something, say something. If you know that there's a person, like, this is not helping if you don't talk about it. And I know that's one of them things that we
Easier
we
said
just
than
keep
done, I
hearing more
understand
and more
that, but
about this, where
the community's gotta
and
get
the
together.
community's afraid of the individuals because of the repercussions, and we've got to take that power away from the criminals because they're getting more and more brazen. Elliot Davis just went on a big rant the other day about it because
Driving down the road just shooting at people for no reason.
yeah, guy. There's pictures of this guy hanging out the side of the car, driving down the highway, shooting at a car next to him.
20-something-year-old
Like-
young lady got shot twice for no reason, just driving down the road.
Yes.
Just
So I
scary.
mean, it's seriously. If you see something happening, you got to say something. If you know somebody or a group of people, say something. There's anonymous tip lines out there that you can call where you're not the one that gave the information up. So if that's something that you're worried about, there's ways of getting the information to those that need it without being the one tagged as being the one who gave the information. So it's unfortunate. And we got the UNC shooting. You know, and the other thing
And the
on this
Colorado
school
shooting that just
stuff,
happened
right, and the
yesterday.
Colorado shooting. So some of the things that are coming out now on some of these more recent ones is the hiding away from the problem isn't something that everybody's doing. And so there's some pretty cool things that are coming out of this. Very unfortunate situation that is happening. You know, this schmuck at the UNC shooting, guy whose name shall not be spoken, just literally stood up at a desk and started shooting. He had been in the class, somebody dropped out of the class, then showed up again at the last one. But the hard part about this guy is that literally he left no manifesto, so we don't know why he did it. Apparently he had no real obsession with guns, pro or against. No real social media presence. He was a quiet kid. His grandfather says he'd always been pretty withdrawn, but then his mom died a couple years ago and kind of fell back and fell inside a little bit more. But some of the key points in there is the officer went to the room right away. He didn't hang back. He was there very shortly into it. Took him into custody. He still had the pistol on him. But sadly, he didn't say a word. He did turn towards cameras and give a smirk or a smile. So it gives you the idea that maybe there was something going on in this kid, but like...
Well,
But it's
couple of really amazing things from that one and the shooting that happened in Colorado yesterday is that the victims, there were several victims that refused to be victims and actually fought back.
Yeah,
This
this
North Carolina
Riley
kid-
Howell. I do
What-
want to say his name,
what
Riley
a hero.
Howell,
Yep.
21-year-old ROTC student or cadet at UNC, charged the shooter
Yep.
while he was shooting.
Lost his life, but he was
Lost
not
his life,
going to
but
be subjected
saved
to
a lot of others in the process.
And apparently, it's ongoing now, but we're hearing that the similar thing happened at this school in Colorado. 3 kids rushed the shooter and
Yeah.
helped
One was
end that.
shot and died.
And that one also had an on-site armed officer who responded immediately to
Yep.
the threat
Yep.
and shut it down. These
And
things could have been
detained
so much
one of
worse.
them. The other three, I guess they kind of subdued him partially, but I don't. None of the details are really
Right.
out yet on that one. But they definitely stopped more from happening. One of them was killed. One of them was is planning on going into the Marines. And then there's not really a whole lot about the third party in that mix, but there's a whole lot of like
These are high school kids.
stuff that nobody's really
Those
said
are high school
about
kids
it.
that fought back. So
Yeah, this is
very impressive.
7 miles from Columbine.
What is it in Colorado?
It's not Colorado; it's everywhere.
It
you know,
is,
but
I know.
it recently Colorado's been hit by a couple. As they had that one whack job Florida lady that
Tried to.
like she was making all kinds of threats. She was infatuated with that Columbine deal, and
Yeah. Those
luckily
those
nobody
two
else
videos.
was hurt in
So
that.
anyway,
but-
just sad things happening because there. So you want to? If anybody asks me my 2 cents, these kids do not know how to deal with pressure. They do not know how to communicate with
Yeah,
one another.
this
They are
literally-
bullied constantly because when we grew up, I'd go to school and the bully was there, and it lasted while I was at school, and I came home and it was over.
Yeah, that's what we're
it
talking
never
about.
ends anymore with these kids with this
Yeah.
social media presence. It's just, and once it's out there and stays out there. Parents, you got to get involved, and
Yeah, this
kids,
guy was
you got to learn how to
definitely a-
talk through things. You can't rely on this thing for all of your communication needs and to define who you are and how you look. My wife and I watched a thing on television the other night that some investigators or doctors or researchers had some people take selfies of themselves, because the selfie's a big thing, right? People will take a selfie and then post it to social media, and found out that people will spend like half an hour editing their photos before they post them so that they look as good as they possibly can. And they'll take 15 or 20 selfies and then choose one to edit that's better than the other. So they're defining how they feel about themselves through this little tool. That's a bad thing. Get out
Yeah.
there and talk to people. Get involved in sports. Get involved in theater. Get involved in clubs and different things that are going on. You got to be able to converse. You got to be able to. We're seeing this in politics with grown-ups now. They don't know how to debate. They just decide they don't like you, and they're going to do everything they can to get rid of you.
Yeah.
We see it on both sides of the aisle. So, this thing right here probably scares me more about our society than anything else, because we're forgetting how to be human.
Yeah, we have all of the information we need at our fingertips, but we don't have it where it counts most, and that's in our minds. We have all kinds of information, but
So-
we just don't utilize it to
Put
actually
the phones
talk
down.
to people.
Put the phones down. They also,
so-
in that study, they did a study on certain schools that would have their kids, they had little sealable bags that they had to put their phones in when they
Little
went into the
Faraday
classrooms.
cages.
And they couldn't use them. And their grades all went up. The social interactions in the school all went up. And but between classes, they could have them on, so in case they got a message or text from mom or dad or something, was all good. But their development, their growth increased when they put this thing away.
Yeah, and and I've got kids that
I'm
both
ranting.
have phones. They have
They have
them
to have
at school,
phones.
and now we're told that yes, you have to let these kids have their phones, and that you have to be able. For real, can we not call the school and deliver the message through the school system? Like, what is it that you desperately need? It's where I struggle with. I'm not really sure what that necessary need to be. Like, in a situation like this, yes, is it nice to be able to have something from your child to send you saying, hey,
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does. But what is it really benefiting? Is
So
it
here's-
just that it gives us peace of mind 20 minutes sooner?
This has become just a part of. You get up in the morning and you grab your phone before you do anything else.
All right.
When I was doing the scouting thing, the hardest part for those scouts the first couple of days was they didn't have this.
Yeah.
We've got a number of people that we know who've gone into the military, and the hardest thing that the cadets or the recruits deal with is not having this. And you don't have to have this to survive. So anyway, ranting enough. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, but parents, hey, find time to get that phone put away and have the kids be kids. Go outside and play.
Yeah.
Play a board game, talk to one another. Huge
Yeah.
benefits. All right, what else?
That's real. I mean, that's what we got. Especially if you want to shut it down early.
Let's talk about Cory Booker a little bit. So, is that his name, Cory Booker? He's
Yeah.
a legislator that has introduced a bill that would require a bunch of new stuff that the honest, law-abiding citizen would have to go through in order to own a firearm. And it just baffles me.
It's chaos.
He's one of the things that he wants on there is that you have to get a license from the state or a permit from the state before you can actually go purchase a firearm, so that they can run a background check on you and make sure that you're a good guy. I'm pretty sure we do that with every transaction that happens already.
Yeah.
So another piece of disinformation that they make half of the people out there that don't pay attention to the facts of the case think that I can just go buy a gun. I don't have to have a background check. That's untrue. You come in here, everybody gets a background check. Here's what they want. Let's not ever forget. They want to get rid of all of these.
Yeah.
They don't want any of these around in any way, shape, or form. They'll disguise it as, well, you can have it for hunting, or you can have a double-barrel shotgun and shoot it from your balcony in case there's a bad guy in the house.
Which is illegal.
But the truth is, they want these things gone. And
Yeah.
our founding fathers didn't give us these things to hunt deer or to keep the bad guys out of our house.
Well, they
both
did
benefits.
keep it to
Both benefits.
bad
That's
guys.
not what the Constitution says. The Constitution says in order to maintain a militia, so that we can defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. And speaking of that, how are things going in Venezuela?
Oh, they're going wonderfully.
So if you want to know what happens when the government takes your guns away, watch this.
Yeah.
I know, Kerry, you've spent a lot of time down there. I think it has been surprising to a lot of people in Washington, in the administration at least, that this is taking longer than they thought, despite the sanctions, despite the pressure. With the help of Russia and other outside forces, Maduro is hanging on.
And not only hanging on, but he appears to still control the military. You have to understand, in Venezuela, gun ownership is not something that is open to everybody. So if the military have the guns, they have the power. And as long as Nicolas Maduro controls the military, he controls the country.
So our pro-gun, right-leaning MSNBC
No
something in
pro-gun.
there didn't fit. This
All
was
of
on, I don't know if you caught that or not. This was an MSNBC reporter who's very left, telling you flat out that when the citizens don't have the guns and the government has the guns, then who's ever in charge of the government is the dictator and controls the country. And that's a huge problem for them right now.
Yeah, what's the
That's-
difference between Venezuela and the Bundy standoff?
Oh, don't let me go. Yeah, well.
I mean, I'm not saying whether you're right or wrong on the Bundy standoff.
The Bundy standoff was a setup, flat out.
It's like that whole, well, there's a whole lot to that whole story.
Yeah.
There's multiple. But what I'm saying is, when it comes time for the government that comes in and says, you will obey this, blah, blah, blah,
I'm in charge of you.
we
You
have
don't
an
have a choice.
opportunity to stand up and say,
Yep.
no, let's do this the right way. Let's do this through the legal, let's run it through the runner.
Yep.
And you can't just force me into it. Whereas right now in Venezuela, they're saying, we know you have no way of defending yourself,
Yep.
so we're going to do what
First
we
thing
want.
he did when he got in there in 2012 was disarm the populace. And so,
And you got people like
Bottom
Bernie
line.
Sanders that still right now has it on there that Venezuela, on his website, Venezuelans are living the American life better than America.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't think so.
Crazy.
That-
I
that's-
don't. Anyway, this is the goal. No guns.
Yeah.
Now, I did see this week that the new president, I think in Brazil, just signed into law that the people down there can now, he's loosening the gun laws. Down there they had laws like you had to take 500 hours of training or pay a huge tax or fine and could only buy a firearm
had to jump through a
manufactured
lot of
in
hoops.
Brazil. He's gotten rid of all that, and now you can own you can have in a year's time between like 5,000 and 10,000 rounds of ammo, depending on the type of license that you get. Still ridiculous stuff, but loosening those requirements
It's a step
and
in the
giving
right
the power
direction.
back to the people. Our republic is supposed to be, our government is supposed to be beholding to the people, not the other way around. When it's the other way around, you get stuff going on like in Venezuela.
Yeah, and I think we pointed out a key is that we live in a republic.
Yeah,
Where
people forget that.
We hire people through an election to represent us
For a limited period of time.
for a
Oh,
limited
wait,
period of time.
That doesn't apply anymore.
Well, it's tight. They still have
Don't
to
get
go
me
up for
started
the
there, 'cause
job.
I got a whole.
They
I
gotta
don't know
go
where
up
in
for the job every few
Where in the
years.
Constitution does it say that it's a full-time job, though? I mean, the legislature should run for about a month or two. They need to get their stuff done and then go back to their real jobs. Don't get me
Yeah.
started. I'm going to get all kinds of hate mail. Phil at
if we gave them-
therangeSTL.com.
What if we did them at the $15 an hour with Medicare? The
They got to buy their own.
whatever kind of
They got to
crap
go get.
insurance.
Got to go
thing.
get their own insurance.
Yeah, put them under the insurance mandate at $15 an hour worked.
So we pay them $1.25 a week.
Yeah, if they're
I mean,
in
$1.25
session,
a week.
if they're in session, they get paid $15
They
an
can't
hour.
just vote present on their own bills.
Yeah,
They have to vote yes or no.
yeah.
See, I told you, don't get me started. We'll be here all day.
Let's just
I want to be in a good mood.
yeah.
I still love my country. It's the best place on earth as much as we struggle with things.
It may not be perfect, but it's the best one
It's
yet.
the best place on earth.
Yeah, agreed. People are still running here and not running from here. They're still trying to break
Yeah.
laws and
Yeah.
breaking laws to get here.
Yep. Explain to me why,
No,
so
a
you
lot
got
of
me
people
started
run
now.
away.
Why, if somebody flies into an airport in New York, they have to go through customs and be approved to get into the country? But if they just want to walk across the southern border, that's okay.
Frank says you're preaching to the choir. Talk
Okay.
about firearms.
Yay! All right.
I got nothing on that. It makes no sense. Let's get back to HK Slappy things. Oh, speaking of which, speaking of other fun stuff on the range, Holosun just sent us a couple of demo units to put on the range guns. So
Yep, that's gonna
we
be
have
fun.
a 507 that'll be on the range, a 510 and a 403. I think we also have a 515 that's already on the range.
Yeah, that's on the full auto, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
So we got all kinds of cool stuff here at the range. Bunch of new Holosun stuffs. Got more stuffs coming. We
Just
got
come see
HK
us.
Slappy things
Come
you
play.
can
We
do.
got all kinds of stuff on sale. We still have some safes. We've got P365s.
Yeah, 20% off safes.
Got
we got
lots of
some
cool stuff.
365s left still.
Lots of
some
new-
12 round mags still.
I think I've got a couple of new cool CZs coming to be determined, but you're going to want to come in and see some
Got a
of those.
checkmate in today. And we have to send it back though.
Scratched up slide.
Yeah, it's all scratched to hell.
So they'll replace that.
They'll
So-
fix it and send
but
it back. But
that
we
was-
don't have it now.
Yeah, I know. I really wanted to see that gun too. So anyway,
Yeah.
still lots of cool stuff.
Come check
going.
us out. Reminder, this weekend we will be open. And moms and all ladies get 25% off training classes. If you're buying it for
yeah.
a mom or for a lady, you get the discount as well. So
Is that Friday,
come get
Saturday,
that.
Sunday?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Unless you ask very nicely, then we can probably do it a little early if you need to.
I'm good with
Women shoot free all
that.
day.
On Wednesdays. Yep.
That's it.
Train. Oh, that's one more thing. And this is gun related, Brian. So
Frank.
Frank. I
Bob.
thought she said Brian.
George. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Brian. The officer involved shooting in Ladue. She thought she was using a taser.
Yeah, we talked about that her a couple
So,
weeks ago.
Yeah,
She
that
thought
one
she was doing a taser and
wasn't.
it wasn't. So,
So that to me,
Get to the
number
training.
one, there was a criminal. That if the criminal hadn't been being a criminal, then we wouldn't have the situation to even talk about. Number one. Number two, that's the sad thing there. You know, obviously, don't want anybody getting shot, losing their lives, any of that. But if you don't know the difference in your hand between your handgun and your taser, there's a training issue there, and
Right.
it just it just points out to me again the importance of training. Build good muscle memory, practice. Make sure that you're competent with your tool set. And if it's not here, make sure it's somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Right.
But we would love to see you here. Remember, any class you take from us, you're going to get to retake that class for free, as long as I've got an empty seat, as long as you like, many times as you like, because we want people to build those skill sets and have those abilities to be able to take care of themselves. So.
Yeah, and between classes, come in and shoot.
Oh yeah, shoot.
Right now, bring a lady on Wednesdays. Get it for cheap.
All right,
Let's do some
that just
shooting
sounds
stuff.
good, doesn't it?
Yeah. It'd be fun. We should do.
Are there 12 round mags for the 43X?
They are rumored. We don't have any. I don't know of anybody that has any of them at the moment. They are rumored to be coming soon.
I also saw a picture today, I think it was from Glock's site, of black 43Xs and black 48s.
They have teased that,
Yes.
but I know that they don't
So we
have
asked,
that.
we
we
asked
know.
our Glock rep about that specifically when they introduced the pistol, and he said zero plans to change it.
Yeah.
So
Well-
somebody's made some noise, and they've, yeah, well, that's good. They should
Well,
be
hey, the
responsible.
19X, that's how we got the 45, and now we got the 45 MOS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glock.
Keep speaking up.
All right,
Speaking of speaking up, let's go make this thing sing.
you gonna buy it? He didn't say no.
Let's go.
Come see us, guys. You ready?
I'm ready.